Welcome to the flower dissection on Sci-sphere, where I'll be giving you additional information on the parts of the flower and what they do for the whole plant in terms of plant reproduction. So I'm going to use my stargazer lily. I'm using this as an example because it is a large flower and you will be able to see all the parts on the video really clearly, but it is not essential that you use one of these for your dissection should you want to. I do recommend having a pair of tweezers on the side and a pair of scissors that don't have to be sharp, but they do have to be pointy so you can get into those little crevices of the petals. So we're going to begin. First of all, I'll move the water away. And we're going to turn the flower upside down. Now on some flowers, you will see a structure here that looks partly like a petal and partly like a leaf. And that's what we call a sepal. And a sepal will protect the flower while it's developing as a bud. But the robust leaves of the lily mean that not a sepal was needed in this case. So let's flip it back around. Okay, we're now going to start by pulling off the petals. Now, when I do this with students, I get a piece of A4 paper and they pull each of the parts off the flowering head and they assemble them in a creative way on a piece of A4 paper with the labels. But for this video, I'm going to keep it as quick as possible and just really take off what's necessary. So we'll start with a petal, which is this structure here. Now the petals are for attracting insects. The petals are beautiful colours, but actually insects like bees do not see colours the same way as humans. So they would see the colours of these petals very differently, but they are attractive for the bee or the insect in order for it to make its way to the centre of the flower. So I'm just going to take my dissection scissors and cut off one of the petals. There you go. Just get that in front of the camera there. And these markings will indicate to the insect where it should go to attract it to the nectar, which we'll come back to later. So I'm going to put the petal on the petal label here. The next structure of interest is actually one of the male reproductive organs of the plant. Well, it's the only male reproductive organ, but there's many of them. And I'm just going to pull that off. Actually, your nails are sometimes better than any of the instruments to do this flower dissection. Okay, let's see how I can hold this so you can see it better. There we go. This is the stamen. And we have on the stamen the anther, which is covered in pollen, and the filament, which is the stalk that holds the anther high up into the flower. Okay, remember the flower is the reproductive organ of a plant, or a flowering plant, I should say, because not all plants flower. And this here is what the insects will make contact with once they go down into the centre of the flower. Now, of course, they're not interested in the pollen. The pollen is just rubbed off on their backs as they go in to find the nectar that they're interested in. And just to show you on the camera, I don't know if you can pick that up there, you can see there's quite a lot of pollen, on this stamen, on the anther part. I'm just going to rub it on here. And if you have a microscope at home, there we go, that should be enough. If you have a microscope at home, you'll be able to look at that under the microscope and see the actual pollen grains, but they have to get them really fine. I've got bits that are in two bigger chunks there. Right, so let's just put that down there so it's better presented. We've got the petal, the anther and the filament that make up the stamen, the male reproductive organ. And there we have the pollen. You might just be able to see the pollen grains. I will zoom in later if not. Try to remember to do that. Then this bit's going to be a bit tricky. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to break open the plant a little bit more, take a few of the stamen away, and here we have the female reproductive organ, which when the, just to remind you, the insects come in and they accidentally rub across the pollen, the aim for the flower is cross-pollination. So what it's wanting, as these cover, you can see that right there, let's just get that together, that pollen. As that pollen covers the bee or the insect, it will zoom off to another flowering plant of the same species. And if it makes contact with, this is the female part called the stigma, it's sticky. And as you can see, if I just hold that up to the camera and get it in focus, the pollen has now stuck to the sticky stigma. And the idea is that a pollen tunnel will form down the carpel. The carpel is the section I'm holding now. And sorry, that's the style, correcting myself. I'm jumping ahead here. So the pollen will stick to the sticky stigma, go down the style in a pollen tube, and now we get to the carpel. And the difference between the style here and the carpel is just a bit thicker. So the carpel starts here where my finger is, and there's the carpel. And that is where all the ovaries are stored, so that when the pollen tube forms down the style, we then reach the carpel where the ovaries are. And if you're lucky, and I'm going to try this, but it might be in vain, you might be able to see the ovaries inside. Let's just give it a go. So what I'm doing, I'm scoring, be very careful, you don't nick your fingers with this, scoring along the side of the carpel, just to make an incision. Then I'm just going to open it up and I'll hold it to the camera if I'm successful. Whoa, okay. This plant might be a bit immature. In other words, it isn't old enough yet, or the flower part of the plant isn't mature enough yet to have made any ovaries. Let me just double check. I think that's just a bit of pith. Let's just open it up with my fingernails. Again, your fingernails are probably the best part for this. Ah, I've got a couple on the tip of my finger. Yes, here they are. Now, whether this shows up well on the camera, I don't know. I'm going to try and get them on my fingers the minute they're on my fingernails. Right, let's just get that on my finger. Okay. Get that into focus. So that tiny little green speck there, that is one singular ovary. And if the flower was a bit more mature, we would be able to see more of them, much more distinctly, inside the carpel there. Let me just get that to the camera. Whoops, other way. So there's another one, just as I'm picking it out there. Don't get it confused with the pith, the side. But there they are, tiny little ovaries. And that is what gets fertilized by the pollen. And then you get seeds grow, which will be for the next generation of this particular plant once they're released and sent into the soil. Now I've completely dissected that, but that would be their stigma style and what's left of the carpel. And the ovaries are just too tiny, but there's one here on my finger, so I will put that on there. Okay, so just to recap, we have got on this side, because we've recapped that side already, we've got the stigma, style and carpel. The carpel contain the ovaries. Now on here, whoops, I did promise you I'd show you the pollen. So there you have a few clusters of pollen there. To look at them under the microscope, you need to separate them, make them a bit thinner. And whoops, here, if I can get the ovary up, it's tiny. I think there might be two stuck together there actually. Right there below the E. Very, very tiny. And that is what will turn into a brand new plant after fertilization. Once the seeds have grown big enough and the flower is died, they will disperse into the soil and you'll get brand new plants. So that's a flower dissection. Just neaten that up a little bit. And you've had some extra information about what the parts of the plant do in order for the plant to reproduce. Using a flower, don't forget not all plants have flowers, but these are specifically for flowering plants. And then you get the creation of that plant, the parent plant, to grow into the new generation. Okay, thank you for watching.